Here is something that surprises almost everyone. You spend good money on a soundbar, you plug it in, and it sounds okay, maybe a little better than your TV, but not dramatically different. So you assume the soundbar is just average and move on. But in most cases, the soundbar is not the problem at all. The setup is the problem. And the difference between a correctly set up soundbar and a wrongly set up one can be genuinely shocking. Like hearing the same product for the very first time. Today we are walking through exactly what most people get wrong and how to fix every single one of those mistakes quickly and simply. Before we get into it, drop a comment below telling me how you currently have your soundbar connected to your TV and whether the sound has ever left you feeling disappointed. I read every comment, and if this kind of practical setup content helps you, hit subscribe and leave a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need it. The real problem. Setup is half the story. Let us establish something important right from the start. A soundbar is only as good as the signal your TV is actually sending to it. You could have a premium 11-channel Dolby Atmos system sitting under your TV, and if the connection or the TV audio settings are wrong, what you will actually hear is flat, compressed stereo at best. The hardware is capable of so much more, but the setup is quietly preventing it from doing its job properly. The three biggest mistakes people make are using the wrong cable connection, leaving their TV on the wrong audio output setting, and placing the soundbar in a position that physically blocks the sound. These three things alone account for the vast majority of disappointing soundbar experiences, and every single one of them takes only a few minutes to fix once you know what to look for. Mistake 1. Using the wrong connection. The most common setup mistake is connecting a soundbar with an optical cable or through Bluetooth, when the TV and the soundbar both support HDMI ARC or eARC. This matters far more than most people ever realize. An optical cable can carry basic surround sound formats, but it has strict bandwidth limitations that prevent it from passing higher quality Dolby Atmos or lossless audio formats. Bluetooth is even more limited. It compresses the audio signal and can introduce latency that makes the sound feel slightly detached from the picture on screen. Both of these connections leave serious audio quality on the table compared to what HDMI ARC and especially eARC can deliver. HDMI ARC, which stands for Audio Return Channel, allows your TV to send audio to the soundbar through the same HDMI cable that already handles the picture signal from other devices. You get better format support, easier control with a single remote, and a more stable and reliable connection overall. eARC, which stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel, takes this further. It supports the full, uncompressed Dolby Atmos and lossless audio formats that premium soundbars like the Samsung HWQ990D and the Sonos ARC Ultra are actually designed and built to decode at their full capability. If both your TV and your soundbar have an eARC port, that one connection is almost always the best possible starting point for any setup. The fix is straightforward. Look for the HDMI port on your TV labeled ARC or eARC. Connect your soundbar to that specific port using a good quality HDMI cable. If your soundbar does not have its own HDMI input, like the Sonos ARC Ultra, which uses HDMI only for the output connection back to the TV, the same rule applies. Use the labeled ARC or eARC port on the TV and connect directly to it. One cable, the right port, and you have already solved the most common problem. Mistake 2. Leaving the TV on the wrong audio setting. Even with the right cable in place, many soundbars still sound worse than they should because of one specific TV setting that most people never think to check. It is the digital audio output format, and the default on most televisions is PCM. PCM stands for pulse code modulation, and when your TV is set to output audio as PCM, it converts the audio signal, including Dolby Atmos and all surround formats, into basic stereo before passing it to the soundbar. The soundbar receives what it believes is a complete audio signal but it is actually a downgraded stereo mix with no surround information and no height channels whatsoever. This is the setting that makes people think their soundbar lacks bass, has no surround effect, or sounds barely different from the TV speakers. When in reality, the TV is sending a stripped down signal and the soundbar has no choice but to play exactly what it receives. The fix is to go into your TV's audio settings menu, find the digital audio output format option, and change it from PCM to bitstream or auto. Bitstream tells the TV to pass the original audio format, whether that is Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital Plus, or DTS, directly to the soundbar without converting it first. The soundbar then handles the decoding itself, which is exactly what it was designed to do. Auto does the same thing, but allows the TV to fall back to PCM if the soundbar cannot handle the format being passed. For most people, setting the output to bitstream is the correct move. This one change alone can completely transform how a soundbar sounds in a real room, and it takes roughly 30 seconds to fix once you know where to find the setting. It is genuinely the most underrated and most commonly skipped step in any soundbar setup. Mistake 3. Wrong placement. The third major mistake is placement, and it is surprisingly easy to get this wrong without realizing the impact it is having on your sound quality. Many people slide their soundbar into a TV cabinet, push it to the back of a shelf, or allow other objects to sit in front of it, and all of these situations significantly damage the audio performance. A soundbar placed inside a cabinet is like talking through a thick pillow. The drivers inside the bar need a clear and completely unobstructed path to project sound out into the room. When that path is blocked by cabinet walls, ornaments, or the TV stand sitting too far forward on a shelf, the sound becomes muffled, the high-frequency detail disappears, and the wide spatial presentation that a well-designed soundbar creates is almost entirely lost. The correct placement is centered directly under or above the TV, with the full front face of the soundbar exposed and nothing in front of the driver array. If your soundbar includes upward firing drivers for Atmos height effects, like the LGS 95TR or the Sonos ARC Ultra, there should also be clear open space above the bar so those reflected height signals can travel up toward the ceiling and back down to create genuine overhead presence in the room. Placing an Atmos soundbar on a tight shelf with very little ceiling clearance will effectively eliminate the height performance regardless of how capable the hardware actually is. For wireless subwoofers, placement follows slightly different rules. Most subwoofers perform best somewhere on the floor within a reasonable distance from the main soundbar, and avoiding corners where possible helps prevent overemphasized boomy bass that can make the low end feel uncontrolled and unpleasant. Bonus fix. Enable HDMI ARC on your TV. One more setting worth checking before you consider your setup complete is HDMI ARC, which controls how your TV and soundbar communicate and coordinate with each other over the HDMI connection. When CEC is enabled, your TV remote can control the soundbar volume directly, the soundbar powers on and off automatically with the TV, and the overall audio handshake between the two devices works much more cleanly and reliably. Different TV manufacturers give this feature different names. Samsung calls it AnyNet Plus, Sony calls it Bravia Sync, LG calls it SimpLink. Whatever your TV brand labels it, find the setting in your TV's connection or external device menu and make sure it is switched on. Without it, your TV remote may not control soundbar volume, audio formats may not pass correctly, and the whole system can feel less seamless than it should be. What a correct setup actually sounds like. When all three of these fixes are in place, the right HDMI connection, bitstream audio output, and clear unobstructed placement, the difference is not subtle at all. A premium system like the Samsung HWQ990D goes from sounding like a decent upgrade to sounding like a completely different product. The Sonos ARC Ultra goes from sounding like a good soundbar to filling a room with height, width, and genuine depth that surprises people the very first time they hear it set up correctly. The soundbar itself did not change. The signal it received did. And that is exactly the point of this entire video. So, that is every major setup mistake and the fix for each one. HDMI ARC or eARC for the connection. Bitstream or auto for the TV audio output setting. Clear and unobstructed placement for the soundbar. And CEC enabled for clean, reliable device control. Drop a comment below telling me which of these fixes made the biggest difference for your setup. Hit like if this video helped you, subscribe so you do not miss the next one, and I will see you in the next video.